If I had time, I would have put up a better joke than this, but sadly, this was the best I could do on 5 minutes.
It's still a vampire game, though.
I just need
Brilliant.
to shut down Microsoft Teams so I don't get like spammed with fucking messages. And I am ready to begin. Um, we basically
Oh,
continue
yeah.
from last session. I believe the last thing that happened was that the group had fog.
I just kind of. Okay.
Yeah, suddenly I'm getting spam.
The children want to see you.
That should fix it. I think we last did the investigation of Kolyan's bedroom, and that is where we quit for the night.
Mhm.
So, group, who would like to do what?
I would like to see something on my screen.
Have I not changed? Oh, I changed it.
Okay, okay, it's in the upper right corner. Okay, I found it.
Yes, all floors of this house is in one particular font.
I was on the lower left corner and I was like, why is everything dark? Well, let's move to the next room. What should you say?
Ask our Lord, the man master of the house.
Ishmar?
I couldn't quite understand you there.
Zuriel, if I remember correctly, we never asked Ishmar for permission or if we could go in other rooms, as far as I remember.
I don't think any of you have asked for that. I think.
Didn't he suggest to show us around his bedroom and study?
I don't think he mentioned anything about that. We were all talking about the Kolyan bedroom.
Yeah,
Okay, the other room is not. This is the bedroom and study in the same time.
Yes, it's his office slash bedroom.
Well, then we shouldn't
we
try
shouldn't
to.
wander off then.
I have a question to you, Kolyan. Not Kolyan, sorry, Ishmar.
Yes.
Why are the windows on your second floor not barred?
Because we have had no reason to fear attacks this high up.
Okay, we should
Whenever
note that.
whenever we've been assailed by night, uh, they have been trying to break through doors and windows, but it doesn't seem like anything has been able to reach this high up on the walls.
How high is this house? Or we are at the first floor, right?
You're not on the ground floor, but the one above the ground.
Because if I remember correctly, in the house when we went to the what's the
The
name?
Maria
The
lady,
yeah,
Maria, I think.
there were bars at second level, the first level as well for the windows.
The
So it
second
was
level was how you mean.
There were actually bars on both levels there.
Exactly why I'm asking. But Ishmar doesn't know about that, so we can just ask Maria. When we get to meet her.
so we should go to talk to Father Donovan, I guess. Not
Donovich.
Donovan, Donovich.
Yeah, I'll leave that to you guys.
Uh, we will leave it to Manis. He's good with that.
And if it goes wrong, he only has one health point.
Oh, Benjamin, you can ask him why he ran away from you.
I already did. I caught him.
Yeah, but he still ran away. Right. He didn't want to talk to you,
No.
let's say. Okay, Yuan, anything I can spot with my... I want to look around and spot anything out of the ordinary in like passing next to this room. Is it the door open?
Only the door to Kolyan's former room is currently.
Okay. So
Can
I cannot
we
see inside here without entering.
None of the other rooms have open doors.
detect anything strange about his room compared to the others?
Um, Make an intelligence check or some. Surya, not Surya, Lucian, you would also notice that from where you're standing, you can see the windows, meaning you can see some form of a balcony out there. That's like the only thing that you notice.
Intelligence check is just click on intelligence, right?
Yes. No, yeah, doesn't seem to be anything particular with Kolyan's room compared to the general size and layout of the other one.
Master Ishmark, could I go out and take some breath on the balcony?
Yeah, certainly.
Is there something interesting on this table? Master Yuan.
Actually, I realized just now that these doors don't actually have. So you've been able to see into the rooms. Sorry, that was not
Yeah,
intended.
yeah. I thought that it's... That's why I said is the door open, because I could get
I
inside.
can't see that unless I'm on the dynamic lightning layout. You can
Anything...
see the town from where you are. You can see northwards towards the town square. You can see some of the buildings. Doesn't seem to be anyone like close to the estate. There is no figure skulking outside the gates anymore. Um, from what you can see, it just seems fairly quiet.
Nothing strange about these tables?
Um, they seem like tables, seem to be set up to enjoy a potentially quiet day with decent weather, but other than that, seems to be basic furniture.
Well, Master Ishmark, I think we should be going then.
Master Smart, one more question. Did the attacks increase in numbers around your father's death?
No, they've been fairly consistent. They tend to begin at midnight, and they tend to last either until we manage to repel the attacks or until morning breaks. My father's death did nothing.
Did we
How do
check this?
you Yes, how do you repel the attacks? Do you fight with them or use some silver? Repel means să te lupt cu
You,
ele, dai.
you win until you win, let's say,
We
the battle.
tend to pelt them with crossbow bolts if they manage to uh, at least like knock in parts of the floorboards next to the windows and such. I tend to be going down and hacking whatever tries to come through.
Did you find any bodies the next day?
Um, no, they seem to be all gone.
Any blood splatters from your hex?
Uh, Mostly Iker. Like
I what
Zombie
floor?
hiker?
Like the what you would like. Not blood, no. It's not dripping. It's more like sticky and stuff.
Okay, that's very good information for us.
You want to tell something about the table, Lucian?
No, no. Let's go. We have much to do in the town.
Shall we jump
Where?
from here?
No, I was just realigning you to on the first floor.
I jump from the balcony, right?
Now you make it back
Natural
down
one.
to the first floor.
I go to Lancelot and try to see how his condition is.
Same with me.
Lancelot is like lying on the floor, resting. He seems to be struggling with his breath. He tends to have this more sharper type of breathing than what he previously have had. Doesn't seem to be feeling all too good.
I tell Manis to pick him up and ask the rest, let's go. Do we have anything else left here to do? Okay.
Master Rishmark, did anybody else from this household die in the last, since your father, last period of time?
No, the last one before my father would have been my mother about, well over 10 years ago.
Okay.
There, it's been, for most of my life at least, it has been the five of us.
Out of character, did we ask him about the missing girl?
No.
No. Okay.
Do you want to ask him, Cyril, or do I?
No. I would like you guys to do the talking.
Okay, Master Ishmark, when we came here, we ran into a woman from the village, and she told us about her daughter who ran away. Do you know anything about it?
What woman was this?
It's
It was
Maria.
Gertruda. Gertruda was the name of the daughter, right? Or
Yes.
Eh,
the
Yes,
daughter?
Gertrude is the name of the girl.
yes, the
Gertrude,
daughter of Maria.
daughter of Maria. Yes.
Mary?
Mary.
I didn't know her daughter was missing. I've been kind of occupied with uh, matters uh, regarding my father's death. Mary is a bit of an oddball, I think you can say.
Yes.
She's a bit of a shut-in, and I don't think she liked the idea of her daughter up and about. So I think they've been kind of sheltered, I suppose, from what's going on by them isolating themselves for a long time.
Do you know if Gertrude had some friends outside or some places where she could have?
Uh, I don't know anything about them. From what I know at least, they've kept to themselves for some time, and um, I personally don't know them. They, I mean, she probably had. I mean, what child would not be having friends? But I'm not the right person to ask, I suppose.
Do you know who could be more, could know
Would
more?
know
Help
them better.
Um, no, from what I know, um, I suppose one way of doing things is like asking people that had a lot of contact with them, but I couldn't begin to think who that would be. Like
Okay,
they
thank you
are.
for your time.
I mean, there's quite a number of people living in town and in surrounding hamlets and stuff. I don't know them all, um, especially if they tend to like keep to themselves. Uh, no, I don't have anything helpful in this.
near
Thank you so
settle-
much.
the near
Very much.
settlement? How much time would it take to get to it? Could somebody get to it by nightfall?
The next larger settlement would be the township of Valaki. It would take you at least a couple of days. You would have to expect resting on the road.
I think we already asked you about this. You said how you get there 3 days,
Yes,
or actually, wait, that might have been Alenka
depends.
from the
Depends on how
barmaids.
you decide to how to travel, but there doesn't exist many options that uh, prevent you from sleeping outdoors. I'm afraid there tends to be like more safer areas to rest, I suppose. Like if you can find like a hunter shelter or something like that, or come across a cabin or a cave that can be defendable, but um, there is a large possibility that you would have to sleep out and about unless you have a faster means of transportation, which we don't really have a lot of in Valaki. Ox and cart tends to be slow.
Thank you for
Uh,
your time.
one last question though. Do you have any idea why your house specifically is being attacked? And maybe Maria's house because she's all barred up. I didn't notice any other buildings around you here that are being barred up.
From what I know, we are the only ones suffering this kind of attack. Um, I mean, if we didn't really have a clear idea as to why, uh, but it seems with the uh, false letter you brought and all that, perhaps someone wants ill will towards us. It's a bit weird, really, because uh, my father was, in general, a very respected man. As for my uh, sister, I mean, I don't know why people would be drawing slanderous lies about her, but uh, she's genuinely been considered a very responsible young lady. If anything, I'm the black sheep of the family. A bit too fond of uh, alcohol, I suppose, and not a lot of people tend to approve of my relationship with one of the Vishtani.
Okay. Thank you so much for your hospitality. It was very helpful.
Uh, a, a word of warning before you go. Um, be very careful of who and how you talk to people in town. Um, you will quickly notice that not a lot of people are friendly, and those that are is dangerous in their own right, potentially. This place twists you. Uh, be careful of those that seems to not be all there. They can be temperamental.
If I may ask you a question, you are talking about the monsters or whatever is attacking the homestead during the night. I understand that you were shooting crossbows after them,
Yes.
so I assume you have a pretty general idea of what is that is attacking the city and your homestead during the night.
I didn't hear the last sentence. Say what?
I, I assume you have a pretty decent idea of what is attacking your homestead and the city during the night.
Yes, as I told you earlier.
As you told my friends, since I
Various.
was not upstairs.
Oh, as I told your friends earlier, reanimated dead is another uh, unholy apparitions, I guess you could call them. Um, I don't quite know. I'm not going to say that I know what all of these things are, but former villagers that have died have come back to uh, assault the mansion.
And they leave by the morning.
They leave by morningfall, yes.
Any clue where they're headed?
I don't think anyone here wants to try to pursue them and see what happens. I mean, I don't want to tempt fate more than. I mean, it's not like any of the villagers are trying to help us. So,
Is any other house except yours? Is any other house under siege during the night, or is this happens only to your homestead?
it seems to only be happening to us. There has been no reports of other attacks, at least. Perhaps there have been, but not that has reached the public word.
I see. Any sorcerer or wizard or necromancer, lich that has taken abide somewhere around the homestead?
Um, I don't know half of those words, but sorcerer. From what I know, there are not a lot of them magically gifted in this place. At least not in this village.
I see. So I'm trying to.
Uh, most of those capable in uh, various magical skills tend to migrate towards Valaki because that is where there is more of a facilitation towards the gifted, I suppose you could say.
I understand. Um, is it safe to assume that your father was a friend of Priest Donovich?
Well, they've both been uh, upstanding members of the community. I think my father will try to be a friend of everyone, but they knew each other well, yes.
I see. And by any chance, do you know the son of the priest, Doru, more closely?
We spent some time together in our youth because children tends to be schooled in groups, and Dora is more my age, so um, I know of him. Um, a bit of a father's boy, I suppose you could say. He's a firm believer, I guess you could call it. So whenever Father Donovich would preach about the evils of the world, Dora would take it to heart. He's a, I mean, he's a very like friendly guy. Uh, Easy to trust people, I guess. He's
I mean,
like,
was.
I don't know the state of him. The word in the town is that something happened to him, but I don't know the nature of his situation.
Um, from my understanding, uh, he left some time ago. And I was curious if you knew anything about the nature of his quest.
Oh yes, I do know. I was actually wanting to follow up this same quest, I guess you could call it, or fool's errand, as it later became known as. Oh, a bit over a year ago, a man came to Barovia. Um, a very strange man, very, uh, for lack of a better word, forceful man. He wasn't threatening, but he was a man you
Of
listen
force.
to. Um, he said he had come to uh, rid this uh, dimension of evil, whatever that means, and he wanted to gather volunteers to help him storm the castle and oust the count. And a lot of citizens, having heard the sermons, they volunteered. I wanted to volunteer, but my father literally kept me from going. He said he didn't want to lose his only child to a fool's errand, and I wasn't allowed.
You see. Um,
Who was this man? Do you know? The preacher type.
I wouldn't know. He was a master of. Well, I don't know what he was a master of, but he certainly seemed capable of something. He seemed very sure of himself, at least.
um,
Is he still around?
Um, there has been some rumors of this that he fell in battle, but then there's also been rumors that he survived and is in hiding, so I wouldn't know which to believe. Where he is certainly not anything I would know of. All I know is that all of them left one day to try to, well, storm the castle, and that was what we heard of from all of them. I guess everyone has assumed they died fighting.
you see. Um, do you know anything, since I'm guessing your father being the Persian master, and I'm assuming you will be most naturally the one to take his place once this whole dreadful affair is done. Is it safe to assume that you have a pretty good knowledge about the town and its surroundings?
Um, our system does not necessarily function in a hereditary state. I know in, for instance, Valaki, it's done by election. Uh, Here and up at Kreshk, I think they are more hereditary. So there is a likelihood that either me or Irina, but considering Irina is adopted, the duty probably ends up falling to me. Um, my father trained both me and Irina in uh, basic governing, uh, knowing how to uh, like do financials, how to talk to people, how to uh, try to assess a situation and figure out what the village would need. Um, it's not a job I want, but it's potentially a job I'm stuck with. People loved my father. They, due to my relationship with Alenka, they don't like me as much.
I understand that you have pretty big shoes to fill, but I also am confident in knowing that you'll be able to rise to the task. And
Make an insight check.
I wanted to ask about this decrepit little village we encountered while coming into Barovia between here and the gates. If you are familiar to it in any way.
You mean the abandoned homesteads?
Yes.
What would you want to know about those?
Mm, not necessarily. Oh, firstly, why they were abandoned? It seems odd for such homesteads that were clearly useful, close to the farmlands, to be abandoned.
Ah, um, if you excuse me, would you mind if I were to go and pick up uh, one of my father's books so I can give you a clearer answer?
Of course.
So he literally goes upstairs and is gone for a bit.
Yuan, I'm just going to pop and get a drink. I'll be literally
Yeah,
2 minutes ago. Just
sure.
a bit longer. Figure out.
Take the popcorn.
Feel free to continue unless there's anything that directly impacts me. I'll catch up with you guys.
Okay, I'm just gonna wait a bit then.
Like he's searching for that book at the moment anyway.
It's more like I know what to say. It's just like literally.
Yeah, I know, I'm joking. Who is on that picture here? My
Is that a picture?
perceptiveness
Oh yeah, that's a picture.
is reeking everywhere. So, is this of any interest, this picture?
Give me a second.
While we are waiting for our host back.
Miss Irina, while
Wait a second.
if I may intrude.
Wait a second.
I
I
thought you.
think
I didn't figure you were actually waiting for, looking for something. Sorry.
I was when he asked who was on the picture.
Ah, okay.
don't tell me that you have a
He has
picture
a
for
handout
that.
for the picture.
I
Jesus
had the
Christ.
handout of this picture, but I can't find it. That's the issue.
In the
No.
meantime, I keep looking through the bookcase. Maybe I find something interesting.
You'll need to do
Please
an invest.
Again? Wait a second.
At least I'm role playing my high perceptive nature.
We're doing all of this in turn. So the picture is going to be.
Of course.
Just waiting for Benjamin to be back.
Some invisible force moved me
Yes,
back to
that
my original
the,
spot.
the power of time stop, motherfucker. I mean, if you don't like it, I can start rolling up vampire ponies here. Magical vampire ponies.
It was a magical vampire poison that moved me.
It's gonna be soon. So the order of things would be picture on there. Man is asking Arena, then Assam doing Assam things. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Actually, I suppose that part at least isn't something Benjamin needs to be a part of. Never mind, Benjamin is important. We'll wait for Benjamin. Illusion, you look at the picture. It looks a little bit like,
Oh, poor guy.
judging from like how there's a strong family resemblance with Ismark, you get the sense that probably a very close Manis.
Yes.
Do you
Should I
want to
ask?
continue?
Yeah. So I was, as I was saying, while Master Ishmar is away, I was asking Irina Kolyon. I'm sorry, I need to read this. Kolyana, whether she noticed any skeletal riders during the attacks on her homestead.
Um, hasn't been any horses, I think. I mean, horses are rare here. Um, there's mostly just been lumbering creatures. There has been skeletal figures, for pure bone and strips of armor, but other than that, like nothing of that nature. No. Some
Yes, I wanted to look through the bookcase to see if I'd find something interesting, like books on necromancy, magic, or other creepy stuff.
make an investigation check. From best you can see, there seems to be mostly just literature here that is more for entertainment rather than like arcane, sinister tomes and such. The most evil book you can find seems to be a treatise of the theory of mathematics. There is
That's
nothing
pretty
more.
evil.
There's nothing more evil than that in that bookcase.
Okay. Master Ismark, you said this attacks happen every night.
Yes, they happened in the darkest hour of the night. That's when they begin. There is this rush of mist. That's when we know it's about to begin, and then they come lumbering out of the.
Could we spend a couple of nights here to see if we can follow them to their lair or find out what's drawing them to your house? What do they want? And maybe find a way to defeat them?
To this, uh, Ismark just goes, yes, yes,